Welcome back to the Kieran Carlin Football Channel, and yesterday we witnessed the GOAT not eat grass but play a game of football that everyone wanted him to win, apart from people like Piers Morgan and other weird freaks, to be honest. You're an absolute freak if you didn't want him to win. The GOAT has completed football. He's finally completed football, and he's not going to retire, but in my opinion, retire. You can't make it any better now, you can only ruin it. And on the subject of ruining it, we're here today to look back at my pre-World Cup predictions, which I did in like October. I went early, or like beginning of November. I went very early. And see if I've ruined my reputation as a very intelligible football man. First up, we have Group A. And now I went for Ecuador first, Senegal, Netherlands, Qatar. It finished Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar. So I got 2 out of 4 spot on. I'll take that. If I got 50% on each of these, I would 100% take that. Ecuador, they almost got through. It could have been Ecuador, Senegal, but it wasn't. So, I mean, I was wrong. Qatar, though, everyone knew they were going to be shit, and they were f***ing shit. Group B finished England, USA, Iran, Wales. I went for England, Wales, USA, Iran. I think we all thought Wales were going to do better than they did, because my reasoning for that was just like, it's Wales. They have that Gareth Bale star power. They just get on through. And on the basis of the previous tournaments, that would be true. But they didn't. The USA were quite good, turns out, in the end. Well, I mean, they were fine, but they were better than people thought. Group C finished Argentina, Poland, Mexico, Saudi Arabia. I predicted Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia. So I got 2 out of 4 in that one. I'll bloody take that. Let me tell you, I will bloody take that. Poland got through in like the worst manner possible. And then Mexico, I always think are like fun and good at football, but then they're not. And all I do every 4 years is give them a positive stereotype that they're like, oh, South American, samba. But really, they're dire. They're terrible to watch. Group D finished France, Australia, Tunisia, Denmark. I predicted Denmark, France, Australia, Tunisia. So this is the first group I got 0. We were going, well, I hadn't really had any major stinkers until now. To be fair, Denmark were the epitome of dark horse. They were the Turkey of yesteryear. Denmark were terrible. They looked completely disinterested and just really ruined it for everyone. It would have been fun if Denmark were like, ooh, ooh, but ultimately they were dog just didn't look bothered, to be honest. It's weird how that can happen. A bit like Belgium as well. You look at the team, you're like, I just don't feel like any of you are that arsed. It's a World Cup. Some people's last World Cups. And they just don't look that arsed. It's weird how that can happen. We now move on to Group E. Japan, Spain, Germany, and Costa Rica is how it finished. I went Spain, Japan, Germany, Costa Rica. 2 out of 4, but all 4 placements correct. I was judged harshly on this one. Right, people were like, Germany? Out of the group stage? No! Idioto! No. And that's not a Japanese centre-back. Japan got through with Maya Yoshida at centre-back. Schalke's Maya Yoshida. Of course they were going to get through. They had Schalke's Maya Yoshida, who's about 48. Now, Japan did absolutely stink out. They absolutely reeked the penalties in the knockout stages immediately. However, at least they got the penalties, so that's fun. I'm pretty proud of that group, to be honest. Nice. Following on, we had the incredible Group F with Morocco, Croatia, Belgium, and Canada finishing in that order. I opted for Belgium first. You can't blame me for that. Canada second. Okay. Croatia third. Morocco fourth. So I pretty much got the group upside down. It's the old inverted predictions. So what can you say? I mean, with the group stages, there's 3 games. So theoretically, I could have been on track for that. And then Canada getting pumped in the last game when I think they could have technically gone through in the last game if they didn't get pumped or something. No, the game before. You know, it's a game of fine margins. That's what they call it, isn't it? I've had a stinker there, to be honest. Group G finished Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, Serbia. I went Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, Serbia. Fuck yeah. Is there anything left to say? Ball knowledge. Spherical interest. I can't think of a synonym for knowledge. What's a synonym for knowledge? Pro proficiency. Round ball accomplishment. Panelled spherical object mastery. The final group finished Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay, Ghana. I opted for Portugal. Uruguay. Oh God. South Korea, and then Ghana. So 2 out of 4. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad at all. And no one expected South Korea to get through. Surely not. I'm glad they did. Well done, boys. So that was the group stage. This is how many I got in the exact places on screen now. We now move on to the round of 16. The teams are all messed up, obviously, because I predicted different people go through the groups. So we're just going to do it based on how far I thought some of the teams would get and how far they actually got. I had Argentina going out of this stage, ironically against France. That's a poor shout. Well, is it a poor shout? Because what I've done there is picked a team that could only be decided on penalties. So at that point, it really is a 50-50 guess, isn't it? I can't pick a draw. I can't pick penalties on the predictor. Maybe that's what I did. And I mean, I would have got it wrong anyway. So I really don't know what I'm complaining about. Just, it's fun margins once again. It's fine bloody margins. I predicted England to beat Senegal. That actually happened. I had Denmark, Mexico, which is not a game that existed. I predicted Spain to make it through the round of 16, and they did not. They lost to Morocco. I predicted Brazil to go through. That's all good. Belgium versus Japan. No. But I did predict Japan to go out in the round of 16. So, you know, that's kind of spot on. And I predicted Portugal to beat Switzerland, which is exactly what they did. We now skip to the semi-finals because my predictions have messed up the quarterfinals beyond repair. But I predicted at the semi-final stage that Brazil would go through at this point past France. This is when I thought France would go out. They comprehensively beat Morocco. It was actually turned out to be quite an interesting game in the end, but it was 2-0. So that's bad from me. I just thought, based on history, that surely France weren't going to get to the final again, let alone nearly win the bloody thing. But they nearly did. You know, history is doomed to be repeated. But it's also doomed to be completely new, which kind of avoids anything that's ever been said. In the second semi-final, I had England and Portugal in it, and, well, they both went out in the quarterfinals, so not amazing spherical understanding this time round. Now we come down to the final, and it was obviously Argentina-France, and Argentina won. The team on the left of the screen won. Just remember that. Mine came down to Brazil-Portugal, which, if you think about it, is like the B-Tech version of the actual final. One South American nation, one Western European nation. I opted for the team on the left of the screen. So, I mean, is that spherical understanding? I think it might be. Now, for top scorer of the competition, I went for joint between Neymar and Harry Kane. They got 2 each, the same amount as Kramaric or Lewandowski or Bruno Fernandes or Breel Mbolo. For some reason why, I didn't guess Kylian Mbappe, who got 8, or Lionel Messi, who got 7. Oh yeah, actually, Kieran, you know who you should guess? Who? 2 of the best players in the world. That would have been smart, wouldn't it? It also seemed too easy. Enner Valencia got 3. Saka got 3. Rashford got 3. Morata got 3. I don't recall any of this. I am a genius. You are full after eating lunch. Why don't you have an apple? Or a little bit of fruit as well. That's good for you, isn't it? I've got 4 apples in the fridge that have been there for a month because I buy them being like, tasty. I'll eat those, and then I don't. They will be there for a long time. Because I can't be asked. I eat them and like my hand gets sticky. So don't forget to subscribe.